We're talking about knowledge of the future in movies, YouTube channel, Easter egg psychic. Alright, in this video I'll show some predictive references to the Bill and Ted's science fiction comedy franchise starring actors Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. The basis of this are the three live action films: Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989, Bogus Journey in 91, and the most recent, Bill and Ted Face the Music, released in 2020. Other cast in these: George Carlin as Rufus, Dan Shore was Billy the Kid in the original, Bernie Casey was Mr. Ryan, the duo's history teacher, Diane Franklin played Princess Joanna. In Bogus Journey you had William Sadler join the cast as Death or the Grim Reaper. Josh Ackland played the bad guy, Numelos. Pam Grier was in this. Hal Landon Jr. appeared in the first two movies as Captain Logan, Ted's father. Amy Stoach was Missy. So in the course of Bogus Journey, at around 19 minutes, you'll see Bill and Ted sitting on the couch watching television in their apartment. On the TV, playing is an episode of Star Trek, the original series. This was Arena, Season 1, Episode 18, featuring the gladiatorial combat between the reptilian alien Gorn and Captain James C. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Others in this episode: Addams Family actor Ted Cassidy did the voice of the alien, and here you'll find Star Trek regulars William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelley, George Takei, James Doohan, and Nichelle Nichols. This episode was filmed on location at the Vasquez Rocks in Los Angeles County in the American state of California. What's shown in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is interesting because following this scene, and spoiler alert, two evil androids who look like Bill and Ted appear at the apartment. They convince the duo to get in their van, and they drive them out to the exact same location at the Vasquez Rocks as is shown in this Star Trek TV episode. And remarkably, there may be some predictive references that indicate foreshadowing about some of the material in the Bill and Ted movies in Star Trek. To put it in perspective, the classic series ran between 1965 and 1969. So in Star Trek episode Arena, at around the 8-minute 44-second mark, there's a scene where Kirk and Spock are setting up the grenade launcher. The Gorn had ambushed the Cestus 3 outpost. The Enterprise team beams down in the midst of the siege, and the Gorn are embedded in the surrounding mountains. Alright, so listen carefully to the sound of the grenade explosion. I recognize this. It's similar to one of the sound effects used in the original The War of the Worlds in 1953. This was the George Powell, Byron Haskin version starring Gene Barry and Ann Robinson. This drew about a curious connection in my mind, and it's to some remakes of classic American science fiction films in the mid-2000s. Now Keanu Reeves of Bill and Ted was in one of these, The Day the Earth Stood Still, in 2008. And also in this cast, Jennifer Connelly, Jaden Smith, John Cleese, John Hamm, and Kathy Bates. Now I found it interesting that Connelly was later in Top Gun Maverick in 2022 with Tom Cruise and Miles Teller. But Cruise also was in one of these sci-fi remakes, The War of the Worlds, in 2005, directed by Steven Spielberg. Dakota Fanning, Miranda Otto, and Tim Robbins also in this cast. The story in The Day the Earth Stood Still, very similar to The War of the Worlds. It's about alien invasion. The alternative factor was the 27th episode in the first season of Star Trek, and it featured a guest appearance by Robert Brown as Lazarus. Vasquez Rocks was used as a shooting locale for this episode as well. And here I believe there's a reference to Bill and Ted Face the Music. Here it's mentioned that the aging Bill and Ted's musical act, Wild Stallions, played a concert in Barstow, California. Yeah, amazingly, there may be a reference to this in The Alternative Factor. Here you'll find cast member Richard Durr, and his character's name also happens to be Barstow. My YouTube channel is Easter Egg Psychic. There I go back, I look at movies and television from the past. I analyze these for possible references to future media. These may appear in the form of anecdotes, idioms, anagrams, hidden in the subtext of the work in question. I also use an unconventional method where I look at the likenesses of the actors. And what I found is you can take the likenesses, match these up to some of the anecdotal items, and show past, present, and future information about actors and other personalities who may resemble the personalities in the movie or television episode that you're watching. My email contact is eastereggguy, that's GUY, @yahoo.com. Thanks for watching.